At Past Meets Pixel, we reimagine history. Today, what if Africa was never colonized? A continent unchained, unstoppable, united? A world reborn? Just imagine if Africa rose without chains. Power, glory, destiny, and uninterrupted. European powers redrew maps, exploited resources, and disrupted traditional ways of life. This period, spanning the 19th and 20th centuries, left deep scars on the continent. It's crucial to understand this history to imagine an alternative reality. A reality where the European scramble for Africa never happened. Imagine Africa in 1884, on the eve of the Berlin Conference. This conference saw European powers dividing the continent among themselves. Now picture this, the conference never takes place. African leaders remain in control of their destinies. Without colonization, Africa's trajectory would have been drastically different. This essay explores this tantalizing what-if scenario. We will delve into the potential cultural, economic, and political landscapes of an uncolonized Africa. Join us on this journey as we explore the possibilities of a continent unsullied by the wounds of imperialism, Without the forced assimilation and cultural disruption of colonization, Africa's diverse cultures would have continued to flourish. Imagine vibrant traditions, languages, and art forms evolving organically over time. This cultural richness would have been a source of strength and identity for African nations. Ancient kingdoms, with their unique customs and governance systems, could have evolved into modern states. Imagine the Ashanti Empire, renowned for its gold and sophisticated trade networks, continuing to thrive. Or the Kingdom of Congo, with its established legal system and diplomacy, standing tall on the world stage. This preservation of cultural heritage would have had profound implications. It would have fostered a sense of pride and continuity among Africans. It would have provided a strong foundation for future development, drawing on the wisdom and traditions of the past. The world would have been richer for it, experiencing the full tapestry of African cultures in all their glory. Colonization crippled Africa's economy, exploiting its resources for the benefit of European powers. In an uncolonized Africa, the narrative would be different. Imagine a continent in control of its vast mineral wealth, its fertile lands, and its strategic location. Without the drain of colonial exploitation, African nations could have invested in their own development. This could have led to diversified economies, technological advancements, and a higher standard of living for its people. Imagine a Pan-African economic union similar to the European Union, fostering trade and cooperation between nations. This economic powerhouse could have been a major player on the global stage. It could have negotiated trade deals from a position of strength, attracting foreign investment on its own terms. Instead of being a source of cheap labor and raw materials, Africa could have been a hub of innovation and industry. The implications of this economic independence are vast. It could have meant a stronger voice for Africa in international affairs and the ability to shape its own destiny. The political landscape of an uncolonized Africa is perhaps the most difficult to predict. Without the imposition of European models of governance, African nations would have charted their own political courses. Some might have retained traditional systems of governance, evolving them to suit modern needs. Others might have adopted different forms of democracy or republic. Imagine the diversity of political thought and organization across the continent. Some nations might have strong monarchies ruling with the consent of their people and drawing on ancient traditions of governance. Others might have embraced participatory democracy with vibrant public discourse and citizen engagement. This political diversity would have been a testament to the continent's dynamism and adaptability. It would have challenged Western assumptions about political development and offered alternative models for the world to consider. The key takeaway is that Africa's political future would have been self-determined, shaped by its own people and their aspirations. Global partnerships and Africa engaged. An uncolonized Africa would not have existed in isolation. It would have engaged with the rest of the world, forging alliances and participating in global trade and diplomacy. However, these interactions would have been on Africa's own terms, free from the power imbalances of the colonial era. Imagine African nations actively participating in international organizations, advocating for their interests and shaping global agendas. Picture them collaborating with other nations on issues like climate change, technology transfer, and sustainable development, contributing their unique perspectives and solutions. This engaged Africa would have been a force to be reckoned with on the world stage. It would have commanded respect not out of fear or obligation, but out of recognition of its economic and political clout. Its voice would have been heard in international forums, shaping global discourse and influencing the course of human events. This is not to say that an uncolonized Africa would have been a utopia. Conflicts and challenges would undoubtedly have arisen. However, the key difference is that Africa would have been in the driver's seat, shaping its own destiny and engaging with the world as an equal partner. Knowledge is power education in an uncolonized Africa. Education plays a pivotal role in any society's progress. In an uncolonized Africa, education systems would have developed organically, reflecting the continent's diverse cultures and needs. Instead of being geared towards serving colonial interests, education would have empowered Africans to become leaders, innovators, and problem solvers in their own right. Imagine universities like Timbuktu, renowned for its scholarship during the Mali Empire, flourishing as centers of learning and research. Picture a curriculum that values African knowledge systems alongside scientific and technological advancements, creating a well-rounded education system. This focus on education would have had a transformative impact on the continent. It would have fostered critical thinking, innovation, and a sense of civic responsibility. It would have equipped Africans with the tools to tackle challenges, seize opportunities, and shape their own futures. An educated populace is a powerful force for progress. In an uncolonized Africa, education would have been the key to unlocking the continent's vast potential. Social harmony, utopia, or realpolitik. It's tempting to paint an overly idealistic picture of an uncolonized Africa. However, it's important to acknowledge that challenges would have existed even without the disruption of colonization. Internal conflicts, power struggles, and social inequalities were realities in pre-colonial Africa, and these issues would not have magically disappeared. Imagine a continent grappling with issues of poverty, disease, and conflict, just like any other region in the world. However, the crucial difference is that Africans would have been addressing these challenges on their own terms, without the added burden of colonial exploitation and oppression. The solutions to these challenges would have come from within, drawing on African traditions of communalism, conflict resolution, and social responsibility. While not perfect, this process of addressing challenges head-on would have fostered resilience, innovation, and a stronger sense of ownership over their destiny. An uncolonized Africa would not have been a utopia, but it would have been a continent where Africans were in control, working to address their own challenges and build a better future for themselves. A different world counterfactual reflections. This exploration of an uncolonized Africa is ultimately a thought experiment, a counterfactual history that can never be fully realized. However, it serves a valuable purpose. It challenges us to re-examine our assumptions about Africa, to imagine alternative trajectories, and to recognize the profound and lasting impact of colonization on the continent. By envisioning an Africa free from the shackles of colonialism, we gain a deeper appreciation for the resilience and creativity of its people. We see the potential that was stifled, the opportunities that were missed, and the alternative paths that could have been taken. This exercise in counterfactual thinking is not meant to dwell on what could have been. Rather, it is a call to action, a reminder that the legacy of colonization continues to shape Africa's present, and that it is up to us to create a future where all nations have the opportunity to thrive. Beyond the horizon, hope and possibility. While we cannot change the past, we can learn from it and strive to create a better future. Imagining an uncolonized Africa allows us to break free from the constraints of history and envision a world where all nations, regardless of their past, have the opportunity to reach their full potential. As we look to the future, let us carry with us the lessons of this counterfactual exploration. Let us strive to build a world where partnerships are based on mutual respect and equality, where diversity is celebrated and where every nation has the opportunity to shine on the global stage. The future is not predetermined. It is a canvas on which we, collectively, have the power to paint a brighter and more just world for all.